Welcome to this program for Design and Technology. Our topic for today is electricity and electronics. We are going to show you how to build a simple electronic circuit. A demonstration on how to mount the electronic circuit on a breadboard will be also given. And finally, we will discuss some safety precautions that will be observed. Electronics consist of circuits with several components connected together that perform a certain function. For example, flashing lights, alarms, clocks, and temperature sensors. So, an electronic control system will consist of an input, a control system, and an output. Examples of inputs can be a battery or a switch. The outputs can be a light-emitting diode, a bulb, or a speaker. Now, let us look at how some electronic components are represented. The symbols will be very useful for drawing and understanding electronic circuits. Here are a few of them: a battery, a resistor, a switch, a light-emitting diode, and a bulb. Using the symbols, we can now draw a simple electronic circuit. As you can see, it comprises of a switch, a resistor, a light-emitting diode, and a battery. We are now going to look at the different components of an electronic circuit. At a later stage, a demonstration on how to build the circuit will be also given. So, for this circuit, we will use a breadboard, a battery, a resistor, a light-emitting diode, a switch, battery leads, and flexible wires. Now, Mr. Silvio is going to show you how to build a simple electronic circuit. Note that all experiments must be done under the proper guidance and supervision of an adult who is aware of all necessary safety factors and precautions to be taken.
Hello students, today I'm going to show you how to build a simple electronic circuit on a breadboard. Before we start mounting the circuit, let us look at the different components that we are going to use to build the circuit. This is a light-emitting diode. This one is a resistor. This is a toggle switch, and these are jumper wires. This is a 9-volt battery and its connector. We are going to also use a breadboard, and now we are going to see how a breadboard works. A breadboard is normally used to mount circuit temporarily for investigation and for testing purposes. As you can see, it comprises of many small holes which are arranged in rows. On the sides of the board, the holes are arranged in rows in this direction. From the inner part of the board, the holes are arranged in rows in this direction. The holes are connected, electrically connected underneath by means of metal strip. So, if you want to connect two components electrically on the board, you have just to insert each lead of the components into a small hole which are found in the same row. Along the side of the board, these two rails are normally used as the supply rail. In order to connect our battery terminals properly to the board, I have already marked a positive and a negative sign at the end of the two rows. Now, let us start mounting the circuit on the breadboard. We shall start first by inserting the light-emitting diode on the board. Like this. We have to press a little for it to enter the board properly. If you look closely at a light-emitting diode, you will see that one of its legs is longer than the other. So, on the board, I have inserted the diode with its longer lead on the side of the positive rail and the shorter lead on the side of the negative rail. Now I am going to insert the protective resistor on the board, like this. As you can see, the other lead of the resistor is in line with the longer lead of the diode. Let us now insert the second lead of the resistor into another row, like this. We shall proceed now with the switch. Now, this is a toggle switch, and it is used in the circuit to switch it on and off. As you can see again, one lead of the switch has been inserted in the same row where I have inserted the resistor before. And the other lead of the switch is in another row. To complete this side of the circuit, I am now going to use a jumper wire. Like this. So the jumper wire has been inserted here in the same row where the lead of the switch is, and the other end into the row of the positive rail. Now I am going to connect the other lead of the diode by using a jumper wire again to the negative rail. To complete the circuit now, I am going to connect the lead of the battery connector to the circuit. Now I will fasten the battery connector to the 9-volt battery. Let us now switch on the circuit and see what happens. As you can see, the LED lights up brightly. This means that the circuit has been properly mounted. Before we end this demonstration, let us switch off the circuit first and investigate further to see what happens if the lead of the battery was not properly connected to the circuit. Now I am changing the position of the lead. And I'm going to switch on the circuit. As you can see, the LED doesn't light up. We switch it off again, and I am replacing back the leads into its original position. Now I'm going to move one of the lead of the diode to see again what happens if the lead has not been properly inserted into the small hole. Let us switch on again the circuit and see what happens. As you can see, the LED remains off. So it is very important when you are mounting your circuit that you properly connect all your components properly on the board. Okay, now I am going to switch off the circuit and replace back the shorter lead of the diode into its original position and switch on again to see whether the circuit is working. So it is very important for you when you're mounting the circuit on the board that you properly connect all the components together, and also that all the leads of the component are fully inserted into the small holes. Students, I have come to the end of this demonstration, and I thank you for your attention.
We will now do a quick recap of some safety precautions that must be taken when building the electronic circuit. Wear safety equipment. Make use of the correct tools. Identify the different components well. Put the switch off when you are making changes in the circuit. And check your connections well to avoid loose connections. To summarize, today you have seen different electronic components. You saw how a breadboard functions, and you also saw a demonstration on how to build an electronic circuit. We have now come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye and see you soon.